Now, it's interesting, and then he said, I came back a week later and I took another picture. Guess what? They haven't put them back up. They're getting besieged with phone calls demanding to know why those foreign flags are in West Virginia at a government taxpayer-paid building. But remember, even the architecture. You see, the pyramids are a sign of regeneration, of the new order of the ages.
It's rising.
It's rising.
And in fact, with the Egyptians, every time a new dynasty came in, they would build new monuments to it.
And it also indicates, symbolizes the death of the old. So they were saying, death to America and up with the North American Union.
Which is also why they're building the big Muslim crescent moon and star.
Oh.
And in fact, we're going to get to that when we get back.
Absolutely.
In fact, we'll just continue to talk during the break for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, but we'll come back with the main info in 4 minutes. Stay with us. Okay, John, thank you. We'll just coast back into the next segment. But for PrisonPlanet. Oh, look at Burmis, how nice he is, with a jumbo big gulp water for you.
Hey,
here, Texe.
thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Burmis, what do you think of the show?
Good times.
Got to get Burmis in here. Jason Burmis is a good guy.
Well, I'll tell you, he knows about 9/11, doesn't he? He studied that.
He's going to get a lot of heat. You know, his new film that I decided to produce is a lot of it's about the Israelis.
Well,
and boy, I tell you, so I'm going to get into the deep water now.
Well, you know, in Mysterious Monuments, I have a whole section on Rothschild's unholy legacy in the Holy Lands. Now, I want Jewish people to know. You know, in the last segment, a Jewish patriot called into the show, and I appreciated that gentleman. But guess what? I believe these folks, they don't care if Israelis suffer, if Palestinians suffer. In fact, I believe they want to bring tragedy to Israel. They believe, like the phoenix, they can build on the ashes.
Well, have you seen those big reports about the top 10? First it was the top 6, and the top 10 billionaires left Israel, sold their houses, and moved to London. Why do you think they're leaving?
Well, they're leaving because they know there can be an incredible blow up there. And by the way, they don't mind that at all. One of their goals, of course, is to blow up the mosque there on top of the Temple Mount.
Dome of the Rock.
The Dome of the Rock, and build a great Masonic temple of all religions.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's obviously in your books, so of course Texe has seen it. But they have the Supreme Court building with an all-seeing eye, and
That's right.
It's just complete craziness.
Remember, even in the Old Testament, and this is not a sermon today, but God told the Israelis, the Israelites, come out of Egypt. But the Rothschilds have built at Hebrew University, right in the courtyard, and I pictured that in the book, a great Egyptian pyramid. And this Supreme Court of Israel, that's intended to be the New World Order Supreme Court of the world, is built in all of these Egyptian pyramid, Masonic,
they say the more
numerology and so forth.
They say the more things change, the more they say the same. That they'll come out of Egypt means get rid of their religion, and that when Moses comes down with the law, they're all partying, having orgies with a golden calf, making sacrifices, so they all get blown to bits. But I mean, that's the same thing. There's always been those two groups within Israel, and that's the struggle. So we want Israel to be good and come out of Egypt, not continue to be the bearers of that evil from Egypt.
Well, you know, authors like Barry Commission, I suspect he's been on this program before.
Great guy.
He is a Jewish patriot, but remember, he says himself, he has reported, you know, the assassination of, Yitzhak Rabin. All these things are done by this satanic Jewish sect. And by the way, even Billy Graham, this came out in the Nixon tapes. He talked about the satanic sect among the Jews. Here's the whole point of it. It doesn't matter whether you're Gentile or Jew.
Do you serve the devil or do you serve God?
Exactly. And to be very honest with you, one of my goals is to try to rescue as many people of Israel, just like the Palestinians.
I agree, and that's what I've always done, is expose the wickedness that's going on. I just don't hate the individuals, and that's why I get bullied around, because I make films about the U.S.'s liberty. I have guests constantly on. They say, you don't cover this. No. What I do is I explain that Saudi Arabia is just as wicked. You know, and I'm explaining there's evil in all high places instead of just focusing in on one, which is what the New World Order always wants us to do, another form of divide and conquer.
It is divide and conquer. And yet, it is true, though, Alex, that the Zionist neocons right now
are dominant.
They are dominant in this New World Order. And of course, this is going to bring great tragedy. Listen to this now. Not only to the United States, but to Israel. And that is planned.
I'll tell you what, before you leave, let's get into that on the full show. Coming back right now, let's continue with what you were talking about with the pyramids.
Well, we're talking about the pyramids. And I was telling you that in Mysterious Monuments, we have a whole section called Rothschild's Unholy Legacy in the Holy Lands. He's built a great pyramid in the courtyard of Hebrew University. And he's built the Israeli Supreme Court, an incredible complex. There again, we have Egyptian pyramids and all kinds of Masonic numerology used therein. And by the way, when you come out of Egypt, the first city you come to there is called Eilat, E-I-L-A-T. And when you drive in, you will see a great pyramid right there in the middle of the street in the boulevard with the all-seeing eye and the Masonic square and compass. Here again we see signs of Rothschild. Rothschild, of course, was the designer of the Israeli flag in 1948, the six-pointed star.
The seal of Solomon.
The seal of Solomon. It's the hexagram of witchcraft. 666 is concealed within the six-pointed star.
And that's the penultimate Kabbalic symbol, is it not?
Oh, yes. And, the average person, it doesn't matter. You may have a Jewish neighbor. You tell them about this. They don't know anything about this. They're not plotters. They're not conspirators. And I believe the people of Israel are going to be great victims of this, because there is a satanic sect within the Zionist at the top. Just like in America. The average American is patriotic to the core, but we have this small clique, this cabal.
Well, it's like the British. I've got a English name, you've got a Scottish name. The point is the government's evil there. Or like when we talk about the evil communist Chinese, we're not saying the Chinese are bad. We're saying their leaders are wicked, and Israel is dominated by very, very wicked people, and they have now dominated the U.S.
Now, some people say, well, is their goal to bring Judaism to the world scene? Listen, their world religion is based on acceptance of all religions, a melting of all religions into one, but you cannot say that your religion is exclusive or better. Let's just take this. This is an absolute disgrace. What I'm showing you here and what is pictured in Mysterious Monuments is the taxpayer-funded monument to the victims that died on 9/11, that aircraft that crashed there near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Now, they have built listen to this, an Islamic monument. It's an incredible thing. Remember, Orlin Specter is the senator that sort of greased this bill through Congress.
And it even aims at Mecca.
Well, it's oriented toward Mecca. And I show here, if you look at it, the crescent moon and the star, which is the sign of Islam, and they have designed it in the same kind of format. And by the way, even the name of it is called the Crescent of Embrace. Now, what a slap in the face to the survivors.
And they've got the visitor center. You have to be there to see it, but I know this is laid out, and it's been on the news like a star right there.
Like the red star of communism. But the Crescent of Embrace, because the Islamic symbol is the crescent moon. So here we have a slap in the face. How can they actually, and by the way, Orlin Specter is Jewish, but he is a 33rd degree Mason. And remember, it was Albert Pike, the former Sovereign Grand Commander of Freemasonry, who said every Masonic temple lodge is a temple of religion. But it is not the religion of either the Jews or the Christians or the Muslims or the Hindus, but of the great architect,
Lucifer.
Yeah, all-seeing eye God. They call him the great architect. He is, in fact, Lucifer.
And their religion is manifesting it through building.
Through building. They call themselves the Builders. I have a picture of a well-known, in fact, he's celebrated in all the Masonic lodges and by the Supreme Lodge there in Washington, D.C., Joseph Fort Newton. He wrote a book called The Builders. Did you know that the Freemasons actually claim that a Freemason named Peleg was the architect of the Tower of Babel? What a boast. They say, we, the Masons, built the Tower of Babel.
Well, that's like the European Union building is built exactly like that, and they even say that's what it's supposed to be. And then they have, on their stamps and money, they have the image of upside-down stars flying over it.
That's right. We have a picture here now, for your TV audience at least, but I want people to understand this. This is the new European
See, it's not
community
done.
building. Well, it is done.
But I mean,
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not done.
But in the architecture, they're leaving it like the biblical images.
Yeah, this is the Tower of Babel. Now, remember what I said about the Illuminati signaling future events. They build gigantic monumental architecture. And remember, it takes many years to build such, grandiose edifices. But here we have, in Europe, they have built this European community headquarters, and they have their 12-star flag out in front. And it is an unfinished Tower of Babel.
Well, then
they intend to finish the project.
Well, I agree with you. And as you know, Tex, on their actual money, they put the ancient Tower of Babel. The European Union, on their handbills, has the ancient Tower of Babel, the biblical representation. Stay there, Tex. We'll be right back.